Hello and welcome to UticaTV Overtime, where each week we will be keeping you up to date with everything that's going on with your Utica Pioneers. I'm your host, James Brown.
And I'm your host, Andres Jaime Mendez. Let's get right into the action from the past week. The Utica women's soccer team looked to win a second in a row as they took on fellow Empire 8 opponent in Keuka College. The Pioneers almost struck first in the third minute when Kayla Mochek got a shot on target that was saved by the Keuka keeper. Score was tied at 0-0 at half. Keuka came out strong in the second half, as they had 3 shots and a corner kick through the first 13 minutes of the half. Late in the game, with 5 seconds left, the Pioneers had a header saved by the keeper to let the game go into a 0-0 draw at full time. The Pioneers earned 1 point, as nobody was able to find the back of the net.
The Utica volleyball team took on Russell Sage College for senior night at Mega Court. Coming off of a 3-game losing streak, the Pioneers looked to rebound versus the last-place Gators. Utica came out strong as they were able to defeat Sage 25-21 in the first set.
In the second set, the Pioneers continued their dominance as they went on to win 25-22. In the third set, it was nothing different as they went on to win 25-17. Pioneers go on for the sweep as they defeat Sage 3-0. The girls improve to 14-10 on the season with 4 more matches to play. Utica's football team, faced their toughest challenge of the season yet when they hosted the 13th ranked Cortland Red Dragons. Both teams entered the game with a 6-0 record and looked to be set for an offensive showcase. Cortland struck first when Zach Boyce hit Cole Burgess over the middle that he took in for a score. That would be the first of many touchdowns for this high-powered Cortland offense. Cortland would extend their lead to 28-0 before Utica finally got on the board. Brandon Belot was the one to do it as he ran through the Cortland D-line to get in for the score.
Following the Utica touchdown, Cortland was not going to go out quietly into half. The Boyce once again found his playmaker, Rashad Tucker, who spun his way into the end zone. Cortland ended the half up 34-7. After a back-and-forth second half, the Pioneers are trailing 48-17. Braden Zunalovic lobs it up to Travis Decker to cut the Red Dragon lead down to 48-21. The touchdown was Zanalovic's 14th of the year, the second most in the Empire 8. Neither team would score again after that, ending the Pioneers' historic start to the season, dropping Utica to 6-1 on the year. The Pioneers will end their homestand as they travel to Morrisville next weekend to get back on track. The volleyball team looked to extend their winning streak to 2 games when they matched up against the red-hot Hawks from Hartwick. The Pioneers jumped out to an early lead in the first set, leading 9-5, but Hartwick would not be held down long as they came back strong and took the first set by a score of 25-16. Hartwick came out firing in the second set as well, jumping out to a 9-2 lead. Utica cut it close as they shaved the Hartwick lead down to 15-13, but the Hawks once again caught fire and took the second set 25-18.
The Pioneers woke up in the third set, jumping out to an 8-1 lead. After dominating the entire third set, Eleanor Seipel closed it out for Utica, securing the winning kill. Pioneers took the third set 25-18. The fourth set rolled around and it was a back-and-forth battle between the conference rivals. Hartwick held the 19-17 lead late, and in the end, they held on to secure the win in the final set. The loss dropped the Pioneers to 14-11 and 4-5 in conference play. Seipel led the Pioneers with 18 kills, matching her season high. She continued to drive the Pioneer offense.
Field hockey hosted the Medaille Mavericks over the weekend. Utica entered the game having won their last 2 games, while Medaille was trying to snap a 3-game losing skid. Utica came out firing when Shannon Jericich found the back of the cage for the first score of the game. That marked the seniors' 4th goal of the season. The Pioneers would score a pair of goals before the first quarter came to a close. Elena Fragapane and Alyssa Pisano did the damage for Utica. Pisano's goal was her team-leading 11th of the season.
Pisano would put another goal on the board for the Pioneers just before the end of the first half. That gave Pisano 12 on the year, good for the 4th most in the conference. Fragapane would tack on another goal before the end of the third quarter. Her second goal of the game extended Utica's lead to 5-0 and gave the first-year forward her 6th goal of the season. Sophomore standout Mackenzie Mick scored a pair of goals near the close of the game for the Pioneers' 2 final scores of the game. The pair of goals gave Mick's 10 on the year and put the Pioneer lead out to 7-0. Madai put up 1 goal with 2 seconds left on the clock to break the shutout. Utica wound up on top, winning by a score of 7-1. The win brought them up to 7-7 overall and 6-2 in conference play. The men's ice hockey team hosted SUNY Potsdam this past Saturday for the one and only exhibition game your Pioneers would compete in. The Pioneers, coming in as nationally ranked 3rd in the country, looked to make a statement right out of the gate.
Utica went off to a dominant start in the first period, however, surrendering a goal from a ran turnover late. The Pioneers found themselves going down 1 goal into the second. Senior Lucas Herman finds the back of the net to tie the game at 1 early in the second period. SUNY Potsdam answered, however, with another goal that appeared to be the turning point for the Pioneers. The Pioneers answered back powerfully with 7 unanswered goals for a final score of 8-2. Senior captain Dante Zapata led your Pioneers to victory with a hat trick and an assist in the Pioneer victory. Utica ended the game outshooting Potsdam by a large margin of 57-14.
On Sunday, Utica University's women's ice hockey team closed out their preseason play against the Norwich University Cadets. It was a close battle all throughout 60 minutes of play. Despite the matchup being quite close, the Cadets outshot the Pioneers tremendously with a shot count of 43-13. Goaltender Angela Hawthorne played an outstanding game in net for Utica as she kept her team in play with her stellar saves and quick movements in net to keep Norwich on their toes. The Cadets only scored 1 goal out of the 43 shots that they pounded onto Hawthorne. The final score of the game was 1-0 Cadets.
As the season winds down for the Utica volleyball team, they look to finish up strong as they took on SUNY Delhi. The Pioneers battled hard in the first set, but ended up coming up just short, 26-24. The girls bounced back, however, in a hard-fought second set as they were victorious by a score of 25-18.
It was more dominance in the third set where the Pioneers widened the gap. Utica went on to win 25-14. With a chance to finish the match, the Pioneers delivered. Utica went on to win 25-21 in the fourth set, winning the match 3-1. It was a historic night. Shout out to Eleanor Seipel, who now holds the record for most kills in a single season. The 15th win for the Pioneers is also a new program record.
After that tremendous win, Utica volleyball team looks to keep their winning streak alive as they host Cazenovia College tomorrow night.
The match will begin at 7 p.m. in the Clark Athletic Center. The Pioneers are currently in an 11-game winning streak against the Wildcats, so be sure to come support them as they try to hit number 12. The men and women's swim teams will be going face-to-face with William Smith College for their breast cancer awareness meet.
The meet will be on Friday, October 28th at 6 p.m. at the Utica University Pool. Make sure you wear anything and everything pink for this Pink Out meet in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Men's soccer is having their Senior Day matchup on Saturday, October 29th at 12 p.m. on the Pioneer Turf. Pioneers are facing off against Houghton University.
The 4 seniors being honored are Michael Bernardo, Brady Maloney, Nick Webster, and Fred Holmes. This matchup will be the beginning of the final week of regular season play as the Pioneers have an Empire Rate record of 4-2-1 while having their second straight postseason berth clinched. Congrats, man. The women's soccer team will be hosting the Hartwick Hawks College this Saturday afternoon. This is the final regular season matchup before your Pioneers head into the Empire Rate playoffs.
The Pioneers have not been beaten in their last 6 games with 3 wins and 3 ties. They look to gain even more momentum coming into the Empire 8 playoffs. Come on down to Pioneer Field and support the Pioneer women's soccer team this Saturday at 3 p.m. in their final regular season match. The women's field hockey team hosts St. John Fisher this Saturday in the final game of the regular season. The Pioneers will also be honoring our seniors throughout this game.
Sitting at a 7-7 record, your Pioneers are hungry to close out regular season play in a right way. St. John Fisher is coming in with a very similar record and in season to date. This Saturday at 6 p.m., head down to Charles A. Gaetano Stadium to support the Pioneer Field Hockey team as they close out regular season play in the annual Senior Day game. And that's all the Utica sports we have for you this week. Be sure to keep an eye out for our Moose Minute series that takes an inside look at your Pioneers.
And be sure to follow us on social media to see when UticaTV will be broadcasting your Utica athletics.
Thank you so much for watching, and always remember to
fear the moose.